morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening to the pod right now. You are now tuned into episode 42. Jackie Robinson. Episode 42 of the DIPP. I go by the name of Ski, a.k.a. Filipino Grigio, a.k.a. Mr. Cozywear. Here with not both of my co-hosts. Hev is on sabbatical.
Yeah, you know how that go.
Yeah, it's cool. I might give him a call later during the pod. See how upset he is. Here with my co-host and 1/3 of the podcast. I got my man Sport playing all fields and all courts, a.k.a. Hefe Horn Chapo with the cheeks. What was the Don of the behind?
Yeah. Yeah, we told you not to use them nicknames when we got guests, man.
I mean, you know.
That's not our guest. That's not our guest rollout.
We broke bread. We family at this point.
Yeah, we
so.
definitely is family at this point. Yeah.
But something you know I love about the podcast that we do is it gives us a chance to branch out to other people who we may not necessarily cross paths with in another way. But we get a chance to be able to highlight their stories. So I just think that's really dope about our platform.
Yep.
So today we have a very special guest.
We got Tanisha here with us. Thank you for being here, first of all.
For having me.
And this has been and you got some claps? You got?
Yeah, I got some claps.
All right, there you go. Gotta give you an applause. He messing up. He falling off. There you go.
That's what editing is for, honestly.
But this has been an interview that's been in the making for a little while. We been talking and just setting a date, and it's like me personally, I just been excited to wait and to just get this opportunity. You know what I mean? It was impactful, and you know we're a dad podcast, so it was always good for us to do something that's very impactful. How you feeling? You good?
I'm good.
I don't want to just I get the bad notion that I be bombarding people. I'll be like, I just go first question.
No, you good.
So how was your life?
yeah.
What's your backstory?
So a couple people told me a couple times, like, damn, we just going right into it like that.
I mean, what we here for?
Yeah,
We here to talk.
exactly. And before anything, I just do want to thank you because, you know, like this another one of our guests that just, you know, found us on Instagram, and we don't know each other from a can of paint. This is the first time we meeting, and we vibed, and like, you know, pre-show. Right. Pre-show, we had a good time and stuff like that. And it's
and the story was very interesting. It definitely caught my eye when it was brought to my attention.
Exactly.
So, without further ado.
Yeah, let's get right into it. So if you can give us your backstory, just like so the initial thing is when people listen to this pod, whenever they do, they're gonna be like, who's Tanisha? So tell us why you up here today and like your backstory that's so interesting about you that we wanted to have you on the pod.
Okay. So my name is Tanisha Rothmiller. And so basically my backstory is I am the child of a father who has been incarcerated since before I was born.
Yeah.
So a lot of struggles with that. He was sentenced to life in prison. No date, no number, or anything like that. So
Letters, like
it just was life.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all. Like, you know. So that's basically my backstory. And also my mom was addicted to crack since I was 17. So it's a lot of a lot of stuff going on with that backstory. But regardless of, you know, my dad's circumstances, he is still a active parent.
Yeah.
Even behind those, you know, those walls. So he, you know, he's a really good dad. So that's basically, you know, why I'm here to talk about it, because I think it's important. And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it and don't talk about the good part about it, you know? Like people talk about, oh yeah, you know, because of course that's a statistic, that's a stigma.
Right.
You know, like fathers going to prison and then their kids wind up being whatever. It's so many things that they become. And it's 4 of us. So, you know, I have a twin sister, I have an older brother, and I have a younger sister. Well, not really that much younger. We like 3 weeks apart.
Okay.
You know, y'all get the picture. Yeah. They was pregnant at the same time. You know, you got them pregnant, went to jail, and then we.
I'm thinking your twin. I was like, damn, but I'm stupid. I had a stupid moment for a second. My bad.
Without offending you, we call it like project twins. That's what we used to call my homie got
project twins.
They call them project
or
twins.
Irish twins. It just passed St. Patrick's.
It depends on what color it is. Yeah,
Irish twins.
It depends on what color you is. They call it Irish twins.
Yeah. So but yeah, it's 4 of us, and you know, we all handle the situations differently.
Yeah.
But we all have good relationships with him, so it's a really good thing.
That's good.
So just to kind of scale back a little bit, it might be just scale back a little bit. So at what age was your father first incarcerated?
27.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom was 20. Wait, hold on.
No, your age.
Oh, my
age?
age? Yeah. Oh, no, I wasn't born.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So my mom was three months pregnant.
Wow.
Me and my sister when he was sentenced, or I guess when he went to jail. Of course, the sentencing comes later, but yeah, that's when he got locked up. She was 3 months.
Oh wow.
So my mom was 3 months, and then so was my other sister's mom.
Okay.
They were both pregnant.
Yeah. So that was the big reach for the story, like when you first reached out and we talked about it, like to tell that perspective of you having a good relationship with your father when you never met him on the streets, basically, or never been there for him, like while he was before he was incarcerated. He's been incarcerated your whole life. But like you said, you have a good relationship. So could you speak to that just in general, like how building that relationship came about?
For sure. So of course it didn't start that way.
Right.
Because first and foremost, like I didn't really see him as much when I was a kid. Like we would go visit him like here and there, but it was like we went to visit him from when they told me we were 2. Like my mom took us, and my mom didn't have a good experience. So after that, I think the first time we remember going, I was like 6, and it's crazy because I literally knew who he was. Like as soon as I seen him, I knew he was, ran right to him. But then after that, it still was like sporadic. So I didn't really think about him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really think about my dad until like I would see other people's dads. Like if it makes sense, like, I'd be like, oh, you got one of those.
Yeah, when you start going,
something I'm missing right
here. When like, you start going to school and stuff like that, you start seeing people, all right, other people got dads and stuff like that.
Exactly. So I didn't really think about it. And then also, of course, like I said, my mom was an addict. So there was all these other things that was going on anyway. So like the thought of him was just like, whatever, we're going to go see him, whatever. So of course, once I got a little bit older, of course, like I'm going through all these trials and, all these different things with my mom not being here. And I'm also like, I don't like him either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because why are you not here? Yeah. So, of course, there comes the, the anger and being mad. Like, if you were here, it probably would be different. You know what I'm saying? Because she not doing what she's supposed to do or whatever. You probably could have made this a little bit better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, it wasn't until I think I had to be like in high school where we were visiting, me and my brother were visiting my dad at the time. And mind you, my sisters weren't really, my twin sister wasn't really visiting him. So we always would go, like, with my nana, and she would like take us, or like at this time my brother's driving, so we would go, here and there, whatever. But it still was kind of like it was a little iffy, like I'm going or whatever. I'm being nice about it, whatever. But I still got all these underlying things with me, right? Because my dad is very like he's really assertive.
Yeah, I understand.
And he's really, and a lot of people that go like,
once
when they go to jail, they say whatever they want.
I mean, you have to be in that mindset too.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It changed who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
And then of course, he don't know what it's like to be a parent.
Yeah.
So he's gonna talk to us just like he talks to anybody else. Right. Not like disrespectful or anything like that, but like he's very like
not soft spoken.
He's
not soft spoken,
right?
like this, like how a child would expect to be spoken to.
And it's a narrow perspective because he's trying to coach you on life when he's living life inside prison. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, you should do it this way on the streets, or like, that's not 20 years ago or whatever.
I was about to say.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was the problem.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to tell us what we shouldn't be doing, and you're not here. You know what I'm saying? You're mad about our circumstances, what's going on. You're not here. She's physically around, but she's not doing anything, whatever. So he will always be trying to like come at us about our decision making and stuff like that. Now, I wasn't really like too off, but of course my brother and it was just a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like we can talk about it on a whole nother day, right?
Yeah.
So we were at the jail, and he was just like, not coming at us, but he just like had a lot to say about my sisters and what they were doing. And me and my brother just was like, I'm tired of this nigga. Like at this point, like we should just say something, because my brother is very vocal too. But of course we still trying to be respectful. We don't want to say too much. But then we just was like, listen, we wasn't, rude or whatever. We just was like, listen, you ain't been here. So you got to understand, at the end of the day, we are trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. So we really was telling, like, we really broke it down. Like, there was no sugarcoating anything. It was like, you can't really say all that you're saying because you're not here to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? So at the visit, he was mad.
Yeah.
He was just like, he didn't want to talk to us. He didn't say bye to us. And it's funny because it's like, people who be in jail kill me because it's like, like, you have to call me.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Like, I don't gotta pick up this phone,
shit, right? Like, I don't have to answer the phone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you mad? Like, I can leave.
Yeah, and the fact that you came out here, like, I'm like, once you get like sentenced, and people know that once you get sentenced to state time, you ain't right up on state road no more or whatever like that. So it's a mission. Yeah, it's a mission to come see you.
Come on now, like, I'm like, nigga, we ain't gotta ever talk. Like, I can literally, like, so I'm just like,
I spent 4 hours, and you gonna preach to me about how much wrong I'm doing.
So he took it pretty hard, but like my dad likes to like process stuff, so which I'm learning about him and stuff. So he listened to us though. He ain't had no like he still was trying to like say stuff back to us, but me and my brother was like on his ass like, no, this is what it is, because at this time me and my brother like we got our shit together, like but he's talking about like my sisters and all the stuff that we used to do and stuff like that, and we just like, bro, you gotta understand, like, we're like, do you understand what we like have been going through? Like, we literally like trying to make it out the motherfucking mud, like everything. You like, can't say anything.
When we talk, we give you a rundown, but it's not the day to day like shit that happens.
Exactly. So you get mad about stuff that I'm supposed to say this as your dad, and it's just like.
And it's what part you, like you said, the animosity of like what part you could have played in the changing things. You're very critical of our decisions, but you're not here.
You're not here to make a difference. You can't do anything. So you can do all you can do is talk. All you can do is talk. And I understand his intentions are definitely good, because as a dad, he feels like he's supposed to do these things and say these things, right? But you're not here, so it's like you can't say these things. So literally, he didn't want to talk to us. He was mad. He like cut the visit short and everything. Like, was like, bye, nigga, like, bye, you gotta stay here. Like, so we wound up leaving, and me and my brother, we just like, it was like a breath of fresh air. Like, we finally got it out. It was good. It really was
necessary. It was something necessary.
So necessary. And ever since then, he was just like, y'all got it. Like, he just was like, I understand. You know what I'm saying? And that opened so many doors, because we had a very good understanding. So he wasn't so aggressive about certain things. He was more open to listening to us and being more respectful. Like, we're getting older, you know what I'm saying? And we like, you're not here. He was, just like, he became a little softer in a sense, you know what I'm saying? He became like, okay, like, you a dad, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me soften up a little bit. So ever since then, it was like, he really made the effort to just be understanding of his kids, so that's what happened. Like, he had to come at his neck.
we always talk about men in general, just like wearing different hats and being able to turn things off and turn things on. I can only imagine, like, being in a penitentiary and have to turn that like survival mode off to be on a visit with your kids and be kind and be soft. And then turn it right back on. So it's probably like, it definitely was like a hard pill to swallow, or like just to navigate and stuff like that. So what age would you say that you your relationship started to pivot, and it started after you like told him about himself and stuff like that? What age was that when it started to change?
It had to be, I want to say like maybe 17 or 18, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was definitely. Yeah, it was definitely around like me leaving high school. Okay. So yeah, because that's when I really felt like I started to change about like being assertive myself. Like, I was a shy kid, so I didn't really say something. That's what I'm saying. Like, that moment was like, oh, I said something to my dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had my brother had my back. Like, we were saying the same thing. So it was around like 17 or 18.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
So do you feel like at that moment was the time where you honestly felt like you started to like really establish the relationship with your father?
Yeah, it was then, because before that, it just was like we were just coming up there because
it was routine.
It was
out
routine.
Of obligation almost.
Yeah, it was just like, all right, we ain't seeing daddy. Let me just go up there because Nana,
let's get it out the way.
Nana gonna go up there every month if she want, if we could take her or whatever. So I'm just like, all right, my Nana keep calling me. So yeah, that's when it really was like after that, it was like we wanted to go. Like, like my brother wanted to go too, because when it's a male and a male, it's different. You know what I'm saying? They have a different connection, of course.
Yeah,
like
I understand.
Literally, even though it's 3 girls, we all have our different relationships with my dad. Like he got different names for us and everything. Like we all have our own little things with us, like conversations and stuff like that. So but yeah, it was like more of, okay, I do want to go talk to him, and then when he do call, I do want to answer. So yeah, that definitely was a pivot for sure.
You finally get to the point where you can and it's crazy because you had to tear down the infrastructure or what it was like. Oh no, this is not a dictatorship. You're not telling me how to live my life. And once I tear that down, then I'm able to build something with you.
Yep. And then also it wasn't just like we just said it and he just was like, like I said, he just walked off and didn't want to talk about it. But then when we talked to him about it, talk to him after that, he was like, I understood what y'all said. Like, he actually addressed what we were saying. He didn't just close down on us and then address it, or he didn't just dismiss it and then keep doing what he was doing. Like, he actually made the necessary changes.
Yeah, that's a big thing. That's a big thing to be able to, process things. Some people, it's hard to tell somebody, especially somebody that and I don't know if that's his case, but somebody that's, celebrated, when you spend time in prison, people celebrate you everywhere in your life. So it's like, for some people to be critical of you, and it's the people that's so close to you, is like, all right, well, everybody else give me like a badge of honor for being here, and then my kids is critical of me. No, y'all supposed to love me like the streets love me,
especially without because obviously we can't say who the organization who
right.
With. Being part of the organization that we was with, it's just like, you boiling here, you know what I
mean?
Exactly. Because of who you
affiliated
with. So it's like, for him to, and the thing about prison is like, you ain't got nothing else but time and to be left with your shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you have no other, either you're going to process it and get better, or you're going to be left doing how much time you got to do and be lonely.
And it could have been easy to take the stubborn route, because I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
I don't need them. Because
it's the thing. He do that with everybody.
I understand.
One thing one more day, he gonna cut you off. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I got that from him. I ain't gonna lie, I will cut him. Listen, everybody gets it. But he knows that at the end of the day, he got his kids. You know
right, exactly.
So he made the necessary changes, and that's the one thing I love about him, is because people don't do that. They just stuck in their ways, and that's the thing. My dad, even though like my dad has been in jail my whole life, even before that, he was a correct criminal. Like, he always was in jail.
Right.
He never, like, literally, he was always in jail.
I understand.
So even before he went to jail, he went to jail.
He was always. They started running down like because my grandmama, of course, she like, you remember the place you was at? And he like, no, that was the other judge. I'm looking, I'm like, I think that my dad was in like almost like so many jails in Pennsylvania. Like, they was naming jails. I'm just looking like, this man is crazy. Yeah. Like, what?
And the fact that Nana know all the stuff, that means she been to him like, oh yeah, I done visit him here, there.
Nana was at all them things. Because I think, and that's what I'm saying, the fact that he got sentenced during this time at 20 something, bro, how many years was you?
Right.
Like, this is crazy to me. Like, what are you doing? I be looking at my mom like, you couldn't get nobody else to be my daddy. Somebody that was going to be here, but my daddy though.
You caught him during a tour.
Exactly.
During a quick tour. So after y'all had that conversation, obviously that was you said that was the pivot, and that had to be definitely a hard conversation at that point. After that point, what was the hardest part about maintaining that relationship with your father, other than the obvious?
Right, him being there. It wasn't really. I guess it was like, some moments, because life be lifing. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
So of course, I'm graduating high school. I went to college and stuff like that. So now we're building this relationship, but there's certain things that I can't.
There's hurdles to it.
With my dad, I can't say, or what, like. That's just been the hardest part, is like, when you really, really need him to be there, he can't be there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you just take the moments that you can, the conversations and stuff like that. So that's just, and that'll be, of course, until he possibly gets out.
Yeah.
So I would say that's just the hardest thing. Like, I feel like he's there when it matters.
Right.
But sometimes, of course, he can't. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, he tries to, like, that's one thing. The reason why I say he's such a good parent is that he really tries so hard to be there when it matters. And I'm talking about, like, okay, it's just a phone call, but the phone call matters, yo. Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's all I have.
Yeah.
So he makes the best of those phone calls. Yeah.
And that's life in general, is filled with obstacles. Like, in your situation is incarceration is the obstacle, but everybody has obstacles they have with their parents or just in life, and to be able to adjust and just be like, all right, well, this is my situation. How do I make the best of this situation?
Sure.
Like, so that's I definitely commend you for that. Like, that's powerful. How was it growing up though? Like, how was it ever isolated? Because it's like, you ever had that feeling like, oh, like dad's not here, and it's like, well, obviously he wasn't there, but like, just did you ever feel like isolated from people because it's like your mom going through her struggles with her addiction, and then your dad not being here? How was it? And then you wasn't the oldest sibling, but you was the oldest girl. So how was it?
Yeah, it was definitely a struggle. Not necessarily isolated, because here's the thing. What I used to do was, and it's probably crazy to do, but I'm being honest. I used to just pretend and like have in my mind that my parents were dead.
Yeah.
That was easier for me.
Yeah, everybody had their own coping mechanisms.
Yeah, so that was my coping thing. I would just be like, they dead. Like both of them. I would just, the moments, like I said, sometimes I wouldn't even remember that I had a dad because it just wasn't there. It would just be, oh snap, they going out with their dads. Oh yeah, I think I got one of those. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me, that was my coping mechanism, because it was easier to pretend because the missing was just too much.
Right.
For me, that was just a lot, because I'm dealing with my dad that's physically not there, but then my mom is here, but she's not mentally emotionally, and sometimes she's not physically there either, because we moved all over the place. So I can count on my hand how many years I lived with my mom. You know what I'm saying? So, but I didn't really feel isolated, because I still was around people that didn't have dads either. In
that's
our
true.
community. Like, that ain't too far off.
Especially
like,
when we grew up, our generation, it's a lot of those.
Exactly. And they weren't in prison. They just wasn't
Some
there.
of them, that's the thing. Like,
At least I had a reason. My dad had a reason. I'm like, where you dad? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, at least I know where my dad is. At least I know he ain't going nowhere. He's right there. So at least I can pinpoint that. But yeah, I didn't really feel isolated, because like I said, it was just other people. But I did have moments where I would have friends that had like both parents and stuff like that, and people go through stuff with their parents and stuff. And I had this one friend, and it just seemed like she hated her dad so much, and I just was like,
girl, you lucky.
But as I get, I'm older, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on in that household. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I seen her years later, and I don't think she was talking to her dad at all. So I just don't know. You don't know people's circumstances. But for me, it just was like the thought of having one parent, but also two, you got both your parents in the house. I was just like, damn, okay.
we had multiple conversations with people who say that, and they like, we didn't know it was a thing. Like, they grew up with two parents in the household, and they just like, oh, I didn't know people lacked this, or like, or how much of a upper hand it was for me and stuff like that. It's people just like, I don't know. And then, like you said, just people vantage point. Like, you looking like, I don't even have my dad here, and you got yours, and you don't get along with him. But everybody vantage point is different.
Yeah, for sure. But I quickly was just like, let me mind my business. Like, it wasn't something that was like, I was talking to her like, girl, you better be lucky. Because I just was like, because also, like, I seen other people who had shitty parents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I paid more attention, because like I said, like, my mom was there. Like, she wasn't momming out here.
Right, I understand. So. Understand. I just, to my situation, my father was locked up too. And he did, my dad was missing when I was 3 to maybe came home when I was like 10 maybe or something like that. So he did like 5-7 years, maybe somewhere in between that. And it was a rough state of like, cause you who your dad is. And then when he come home, so it was like an adjustment, like, oh, you trying to dad. And it's like, you've been missing. Like, you know what I mean? So I definitely understand that.
Yeah. I don't understand. I mean, I'm not a parent, so I guess people don't have the tools. You know what I'm saying? To be like, they just think like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Because I always like analyze stuff, and I'm like, y'all don't think that y'all should like have a conversation? Like, you know what I'm saying, about this transition here? But people don't be having guidance as far as parenting. Like, because I be talking to my dad sometimes, and he'll, like, my brother and my sister got kids, right? But he'll like say stuff about like what they should do, right? Not what they should do, but they'll be like, yeah, if it was my child, and we always start laughing because we be like, Dad, shut up, like, because he really be like, Dad, you wouldn't have did shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Because he'd be like my brother got two daughters, so he'd be like, yeah, I would do this and I would do that, and we'd be like, we would mop the floor with you. Like, you're so like you would be so
just turn the TV off on them. Like, no, it ain't even working like that no more.
And then also, he been in jail for so long, so like things are so different now. So he be thinking he knows stuff, and it's just like, what now? Like, what are you talking? Like, you know nothing about what's going on out here. So I think that's funny too. But I love the fact that he tries to still like remember stuff. Like he'll be asking us questions like, so y'all was at the party? So he like, yeah. So what block was it on? We be telling him the block, and he be trying to remember what the block look. I'm like, you probably don't look the
you
same,
about
Dad.
5 Chinese stores too late. Like,
exactly.
It's so funny.
They done switched that over a million times.
I be cracking up. He be like, what block was like when I went to college? I went to Temple and I stayed on the dorm my first year, and he was like asking about my dorm and stuff. He asking where it's at, and I'm like, you on Broad Susquehanna, and then he like, oh, okay, across from
like, no, they ain't even. They got a whole movie theater out there now.
Because he really be because the thing is, he really be trying to like think about and visualize because he can't be there, and that's. I love it because he really be on point. He remembers like his memory is like crazy. He be remembering everything. When I used to travel, when I used to do hair in New York.
Okay.
And I used to go there for like a week or something. I would work on set and stuff. He would call and he'd be like, what you working on and stuff like that. He'd be like, Star, what you doing? He called me Star. And he'd be like, what you working on? I'm like, well, Dad, I'm about to be going for a week or whatever. I'm going to go stay with such and such, the person I'm working with, we working for this company, that company. I come back, he called me. So what happened with the one company? Like he'd be on, like I'm trying to tell, like that's the one thing I love about him because that's why I'm like, he active. Like I don't care, he's active because he knows exactly what be going on. Like literally, like he will call in and figure something out. I went to my graduation. He was on the phone, like I'm trying to hear him say her name.
Yeah, exactly.
My last name with an R. They in the D's. He like, damn, I'm a miss. So he was pissed. He like, damn. He was like, this call ain't gonna be long enough. So he was like, what she got on? What color she got? He's like, she got the cherry and red. I'm like, yeah, what? But he was right on the phone. Like he don't play about his kids. He really don't. So that's why I'm like, people be out here and y'all don't even.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all.
People take a lot of things for granted.
For sure,
like take a lot of things for granted. You know? And like the world of jade you so much is like some people here in present living with their kids and all that, and they just so focus on working or this that, and they just living like so. So your impact on your child is always measured different. Like people think just because you like you said with your friend, like she got both of our parents in the household, and some people thought that was just enough because I stayed around, but like you had people who have like stayed with they spouse and have an unhealthy relationship and then raise kids and stuff like that. Well, I always stayed around, so
just to have 2 people in the household,
right?
Like, but it's the most toxic situation in this household.
So people look at your situation and they think like, oh, all right, it's nowhere in the world she can have a good relationship with her father, and it's like, no, I have a great relationship, and it's
the flip side is he's the most present, probably one of the most present fathers you
exactly.
He's there to listen to you. Like that's one thing people actually take for granted with their kids because they never listen to their kids. They think we're gonna have this conversation and I'm gonna talk to you, but I'm not actively listening to what you're saying. I'm just gonna tell you how I think you should do things and not reciprocate what you saying to me as well.
For sure. I didn't. You just saying that's like so true because. You know, people be like, what's the best quality of, parenting? Like, what do you do? And that's deep. Like, listening, it sounds so simple, but that's huge.
So many times people now, it's like the world force you to, feel like parenting is just providing. So it's like you work, and you just see your kid and you just hand out money and then you think you raising them, but you're not. You just teaching them the value of like money and stuff like that. And it's like that's not all the end all be all whatever like that. So that is definitely true. That's good. You got any more like funny stories like your dad? Like I think that's so dope that he called like, damn, I ain't gonna be I called too early.
Like, sometimes they can call right back, sometimes they can't.
We gonna rumble over this phone so I can hear her last name.
No, for real. I'm trying to think. He just, man, that is just funny.
I know it's a lot of stuff where like where people will be like, because even my pop, like the world changed and people like you can speak to that same perspective. Like the world changed and your parents just think that like, yo, don't go this place because that's bad. Like, no, that's not even bad no more. That's the nice neighborhood now. Yeah.
Because first of all, we be on the Zoom, so everything be funny on the Zoom.
Oh yeah, that's dope. Then
like, I love the Zoom calls now. That was like a big upgrade. Did that come after the pandemic?
Yeah, it came through the pandemic.
Listen, that was a positive thing from the pandemic.
Yeah, and it's like
Zoom was popular. That's when Zoom made their money.
Listen. The Zoom calls be so anytime any of us like move or something after of course the pandemic, whatever, he'll be like, give me a tour. Give me a tour. So the last time we was on the Zoom call, because they wasn't doing it on the weekends. Okay. So in my family, like we do, we started Sunday dinners. Back in the day, Sunday dinners. So we started up the new generation.
That's a good thing.
We started up, right? Yeah. So everybody hosts at a different, different week or whatever. So it was my week to host or whatever. But he has, of course, we moved like a couple months ago, whatever. Yeah. And he seen my brother's house. He's so weird. Every time he called and sees my house, he be like, "Let me see what kind of cereal y'all got." I'm like, what? I'm like. And I need to ask him like, did you used to eat cereals? Because that's the only thing he asked. So the last time he called and I was hosting dinner and he like, let me see the house, whatever. He said, so I was like, all right, let me go outside. I'm
right. Let me bring you all in.
I said, look at the welcome, Dad. He's like, okay, thank you for the welcome. So we go in there. So I'm doing all these stuff. Where the picture frame? Say, y'all ain't got no picture frame. Like he just really like he really in there like that. That is always so funny to me because he always be trying to see where we going on, if we go on vacation or something.
Right, exactly.
He be trying to get us to set up the Zooms and stuff because he really be trying to see everything. One of my cousins went to Dubai and he wound up calling him out there, so he wound up saying that he be all up there. Everybody, he be like, let me see what's in the fridge. Dad, what are you talking about? He's crazy. He's always hype about that. He got a real good relationship with the grandkids too. The grandkids,
that's good. That's good.
Because they be having like little programs and stuff. My niece went up there, had like a program. I don't know if it was an arts or something program. So she wound up going there with him. He has a really good. Oh my gosh! First of all, when they was younger, he gonna tell him he was in college. I said, what? I said, Dad.
I was gonna ask you that, right?
Yeah,
come on now.
Here's the thing. I got this theory though, right? I got this theory that so like our generation, right? We had a lot of parents or homes that their dads was in jail, so the excuse was my dad's in college. Yeah. So I feel like there's a lot of people that didn't go to college because they learned their dad was in jail, and their whole idea was
like he been in college for a long time.
Like I'm not going to college.
Like how long you got to go to college for? He been in there college for 10 years.
I don't like their food in college. I ain't going to college.
No, for real.
That's crazy.
They used to tell him that he was in college, but then it was like, Dad, you can't tell him this because I went to college. So I was the first one to go to college. And my niece used to come to the campus and she like, I don't think Pop-Up is in college.
They ain't never make you wear that in college.
I don't think Pop-Up is here. Like, this is nice.
I got a degree before they pop.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's not making sense. What you getting your doctorate?
But yeah, now they know. They be cool with it there. Like, once the third child came, it's like, yo, you can't lie no more. So like, the third one here, you can't lie to him. Like,
we was just talking about that too, and far as like sometimes you think you're saving your kids or grandkids in this situation by not telling them things, and sometimes it's beneficial to tell them the truth because there's a lesson in it. They think pop in college all that time, they go run the street, God forbid, but do some crazy and don't even know the consequences of jail. And it's like, if you'd have told them like, yo, this is where I'm at, it probably would have told them a better perspective. But we think we try to save our kids. Like my kids still think, this sidebar, my kids still think they dog went to the farm and the dog did, and it's like I should have told them. So they asked me about it. So they asked me about it recently. They asked me about
it. Villa Orchards, like,
and it's never my kids though. It's they little cousins. Like, so my little cousin come over and she like, so where that old dog y'all had at? I'm like, what is you bringing that up for? Like where is you bringing that up for? And now they like, yeah, where the dog at? Like,
oh my God.
I'm like, he raising a family. He trying to be an adult. He got kids out there and stuff like that. It's time for him to move on. He can't be our dog no more.
Not the dog got responsibilities.
And I'm like, I'm telling myself, I'm like, yo, like when you gonna let this die? Like, you know what I mean?
Yo. Yeah, I still be trying to figure out why he told them that, but he didn't tell us that. Like,
yeah.
Like, why are you gonna be what?
Yeah, grandparents always soft in that.
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
He's
for sure.
crazy, but yeah, it's the funniest thing.
Before we close off, though, I wouldn't do you. I don't want to do you a disservice and not mention your business. Can you tell us about the mobile beauty supplies that you got going on?
Yeah, so I own a mobile beauty supply store called Tia Michelle Supply, and I created a on-demand delivery app for it.
Oh, that's dope.
So it's basically DoorDash, Uber Eats, a beauty supply.
Well, you created an app, like app.
Yeah, it's an app. So like it's literally like you go on the app, you order. And then you can track your driver and stuff like that.
Until they bring it to you.
Yeah, they bring it to you. So, but yeah, so I service PA, of course, Delaware and Jersey.
Okay. That's what's up. Because I think a lot of times people start doing hair, then you realize you're missing something, and you gotta run out.
So that's what I'm saying. I've been a licensed hairstylist for over 15 years. So that's what my foundation is like. I went to college, but that was also my foundation because I always wanted to do hair, but I wanted to go to college too. So I always did hair while I was in school and stuff like that.
That's always a way to make money. I tell people that if you know how to do hair, you should never be broke. Exactly. You always be able to make money. Yeah.
So and then it's crazy. So I'm like, why did I never think of this? Like, you know how many times I ran out of stuff? Like, but of course, the thought didn't come until the pandemic because all the stores were closed.
Right.
And then I'm like, but everybody is getting deliveries from, all these different places. I'm like, why don't I just open a store? You know what I'm saying? So, but I always wanted to do the app from the beginning. Like, I never just wanted it to be just delivering.
Right, exactly.
So from the beginning, I came with the idea for the app. But of course, it took me a year to develop the app. Yeah,
that's definitely a thing. I think that's dope because it's like a lot of people start things, but you don't find a demand. And like that's something that's in demand, so it definitely is.
Yeah, for sure.
That or they do the DM for price, and it's just like how you feel like paying that week.
Yeah.
So I mean, I mean, some shit going wrong this week. It might be like $20 more than what you.
Which is like what? Like what? How? But yeah, so that's my baby right now.
So plug the name of the app. We're gonna put it at the bottom.
It's Tia Michelle Supply. Okay. TMS.
Okay.
Yeah, TiaSupply.com.
Okay.
Both is available for Android and Apple.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so it's going on a year in May that the app dropped. Because I was, of course, delivering before. But then, because the app took some time. Like, of course, I didn't do it myself. I had a developer working on it with me because that's not my forte. I'm like, I know bump, curl, shampoo. Like, this is what I know. You help me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
that's a good part of growing a business is being able to know where you excellent at and where you need help at and bringing people together. That's a good part of growing a business is being able to know where you excellent at and where you need help at and bringing people together.
That's actually my thing where I be like, I can do it. Not that I can do everything because I went to school for PR. Okay. So I knew how to do websites. I know how to do promotion and stuff because I know how to do the different promo for my business and stuff. But that part I was like, we're going to have to talk after you get off this too. But yeah, so I knew I was like, I need somebody to do this because ain't no way. And it's crazy because after it was done, it was like, you just enter into a whole different industry, right? Like you in the tech industry. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, why? Like, why? All I know is shampoo. Like, you know
I wasn't even trying to highlight this.
We definitely forgot about this part. Yeah, this is definitely dope. Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then my dad is, my dad very proud.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you. That's why he called me star. He was like, she's a star child. I'd be like, I used to be like, they gonna be jealous, right? But the thing is, they like. That's why I said we got so many different things with my dad. Like he got champ for my brother, boxing and stuff like that. Of course, he called my sister China from rapping and stuff, and baby girl for my other sister.
That's good.
Like nobody was like star. Like they just like she always doing something. I always got a business. I'm always on something.
So you throw that you don't never throw it in their face and stuff like that. Like
listen. So this one, my dad is crazy because
I am the favorite.
We all say it though because my dad would be like, you're my favorite, right? But he do it to all of us. I'd be like, I just heard you, right? So he do it all of it. But that's the thing, and that's what I love about it. You can tell like nobody is his favorite. Like he just has. I don't know, like just a special thing with all of us. Like I love that. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how you see people with like all these kids and you could just tell one of them is like, because even like in the meet and like when we go see him, he'll talk to my brother sometimes like away. But I know it's because first of all, he's the oldest. He was in the streets before. So their conversations he'll never have with us. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it never felt like, oh, now he want to talk to you. No, he don't want to express that with us. Like he don't tell us certain things. He not going to talk about whatever they talking about or whatever. So he might branch off. He literally, like in the visiting rooms, he'll literally like talk to, like he'll break us apart and say he'll go, even with the grandkids, he'll want to talk to grandkids over there. He'll be like, come over here while we get this food. I just want to talk to you or whatever. Like he's so, I don't know. Like it's crazy how he didn't have no experience for real being a dad, but he really like one of the dopest dads. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. And I guess it's like you said, he got nothing but time to figure it out. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he was reading some shit. I don't know. But he figured it out. Y'all niggas need to read. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, he's really dope.
To be able to do that though, like, you know, I think people struggle with that just in general. Parents, like, be able to treat each one of your kids different. Like, nobody's the same. And to be able to grasp that, you know what I mean?
He does a really good job. It's amazing.
Sure. And definitely big up to him. Big up to him for you know being faced with that being faced with that circumstance and overcoming it. So that's definitely
because you know it's easy to just like you know disregard everything and say and give yourself a built-in excuse. But to still maintain a relationship with all your kids, not just some. Some people will be like, oh, all right, me and my son cool. Them daughters, I don't know about them, like or whatever, like that. Yeah,
like I said, it was some moments where my sister was like, my sister used to just send money. She ain't talk to me, she just send the money, like, and that's what he'd be like, I know she alive. She send me money, and I'm the one you talk all the time. I don't send you no money, like that. You got it. You know what I'm saying? So, but he, you know, he never gave up.
That's what's
like
up.
He gave effort, and that's the thing too. Like I feel like with parents, if as long as you're giving effort, I feel like you always gonna be a great parent.
Yeah, and that's your obligation as a parent. Like I
some don't think they obligated.
I hate to see people like you know where people struggle with their relationship with their kids. I'm like, you brought that person in this world, so that's your obligation to fix that relationship. However you fix it, you should, you know, you've been beyond to fix that relationship because that's your child. You know what I mean?
Yep. He never gave up. He would still keep trying to contact us, and you know he didn't give up. Like, exactly. And as stubborn as he is, he really was like, I'ma still try. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Yeah, that's why he get the love that he get.
That's
my man's in them.
That's what's up. To get back to the business though, like I just want to applaud you because a lot of people started stuff during the pandemic and it ended when the pandemic ended. Like, you know what I mean? So like for you to come out of that and just have something and keep pushing at it and keep trying to grow it is definitely dope. A lot of people look at the crypto market, open and closed. Like
everybody was
everybody was on the crypto and all that, and that was over. Like for you to still be striving. So that's definitely dope.
Yeah, I got a lot of plans. I want to do a lot of expanding and stuff. So that's some, you know.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely gonna have you back too. Just like whenever you.
We'll be going to talk at that. Right?
No, you definitely like what you say with your PR background and all that. We definitely a good voice to have on here. And we always looking for somebody. We were just talking about this earlier. We'd be looking for people to talk, and then they be ducking us.
Oh yeah. We was definitely talking about that. Yeah, I be talking about all types of stuff. Like I don't be caring. Like I'd be like, that's why I remember. Like I said, with some stuff I was like, oh, I can't say that. Okay, all right, I'll take it out.
Hey,
I just
this
be
I
like,
can't.
I'm a very honest and like I don't be caring because my thing is. My truth is my truth, and at the end of the day, like I am who I am because of my, you know, my experiences. So, and I've always been like that. Like talking about my mom doing drugs, like I knew my mom was doing drugs at 8. So like I would just talk about like, yeah, she smoked crack. I don't know where she at. You know what I'm saying? So I can talk about anything.
You get further in life with being honest, like
for sure.
Because it's not about being honest with people; it's being honest with yourself.
Yes.
Because once you convince yourself that like, oh, this don't exist and stuff like that, then you hindering yourself. Like,
and then you got to be by yourself sometimes. And if you can't be by yourself, that's why suicide, you know, rate is high. Just everything. Mental health is so important. And it be because people can't even be alone.
Exactly.
Like you can't even face yourself. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a
why
scary
I'm like,
time.
I don't care what. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I got an opinion about any and everything. I may or may not say it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And that's how it is with people on the internet. You can live out your lifestyle on the internet. Like you don't have to be like before. And I use this analogy,
somebody had to vouch for you back
or not even that you had to be something. You had to make all right, back in the 80s and stuff like that, 90s, you had to actually be it. Yeah. I feel like in the 2000s, our generation, you had to at least make an effort to look like it. Now, you don't even have that no effort. Like you can say you want something and just just act like it on the internet. You can lay from your twin bed in your house and act like you something that you not. Like, you know what I mean?
Right angle.
Yeah, the right angle. You can be somebody that you completely not. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, even people that was faking the funk back in the day still had to put forth effort. Yeah. It's so easy to be fake these days. It's ridiculous. Like, and when they get exposed for it, it's just like, it's ridiculous. But definitely, we do thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. It's definitely this episodes like this are what drive our platform. You know what I mean? It's important to get relationships like that, and we always doing things to empower men and just people in general, families and stuff like that, and how they built on this like that. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for your father, because you know it was easy. It's easy to quit. It's people who had lower hurdles to hop. To be a father, and they quit, and it's like I definitely have nothing but respect.
Or on the flip side, you got them saying, you know, they better off without me.
Oh yeah, you got that,
for sure. Yeah,
I died.
So that's definitely big up to him, because you know,
we have a visitor.
Hey.
But it's episode 42.
It's episode 42 of the DIPP. We out.
Hey, say bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.